everyone and welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. In today's video, what we're going to do is create a pause menu so that when your game is running, you can click escape or P. We're going to set it up on escape and your game will pause with a nice little menu. You can resume and you can quit the game from that menu. So we're not going to wait around, we're just going to jump straight into it. So I'm just in an empty third person project, and the first thing I'm going to do is create a widget blueprint. So this is going to be the actual UI for the pause menu. So right click, user interface and widget blueprint. Use a widget and call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it WBP underscore pause menu. Just like that. So open this up, and first thing we're going to do is add a canvas panel, then a vertical box, then some text, and we're going to add two buttons. So button, and add two of these onto the vertical box. We're going to rename the first button to be resume button. And we're going to rename the second one to be quit. So quit button. So self-explanatory. When you click the resume button, it's going to resume the game. When you click the quit button, it's going to quit the game. So let's just make this look a little nicer. On the vertical box, size to content. And anchor, we're going to set it right into the middle. For the text, we're going to just put game paused, just like that, and perhaps we'll increase the size a little. There we go, that'll do. And for the resume game, well, for the buttons in general, let's add some text onto these. And we're just going to say resume. Obviously I'm keeping the styling very basic. Style yours how you wish, add some images, make it look nice, but I'm just showing you pure functionality. So that's gonna do me right there. I've got a quit button, resume button, and a game pause text. Sorted. And perhaps what I'll do as well is I'll add an image on the canvas panel. I'll set it to the full size. I'll set the color and opacity to a black / grey, and I'll change the opacity right down like that. There we go. And I'll just put this above the vertical box. Not too sure why it's done that. Just gonna have to reset the color and opacity. So sorry about that one. There we go. And now the vertical box appears on top of the image. So there we go, it looks a little better than it did. So now let's actually set up the functionality. So over to the graph mode now in the widget blueprint. We're going to drag off our resume, well, we're going to click our resume button on the left and click on clicked. And on the quit button on the left, we're going to click on clicked. So whenever the user clicks the buttons, these events are going to be called. So to resume the game, well, let's actually pause the game first. So let's go to our character blueprint. Just going to go beneath all this and add a custom event. Call it pause game. I'll zoom in a little. First thing we're going to do is get the player controller. And we want to make it so you can see your mouse cursor. So set show mouse cursor. You want that set to true. And secondly, we want to set the input mode to UI only, so they can't move around in the world. So set input mode UI only. This means they can only interact with the UI widget. Everything else will be ignored. So just like that. And secondly, well, lastly, all we want to do is set game paused and set that to true. And whilst we're here as well, what we can also do is, if this, well, we can just drag off this and say create widget WBP underscore pause menu in my case, and add that to the viewport. There we go. But before we add it to the viewport, actually, what we're going to do is right click and promote to a variable. This is so later down the line we can remove it, otherwise we won't really have access to it. So I'm just going to call this pause menu widget, just like that, and hook that up as so. There we go. So that should work fine now. And all we're going to do is escape key, keyboard event escape. You can use whatever key you'd like, maybe P or whatever. Just call that pause game, just like that. So this will work perfectly. So now let's go back to our pause menu widget and we can start with this. So for the resume game, we basically want to do the opposite of everything we just did. So we're going to get our player controller. We're going to set the input mode to game only. But firstly we want to hide, show the mouse cursor now. So set show mouse cursor. You want to show that now. Just like that. And there we go. And lastly, we want to set the game paused and leave that unticked, because obviously we're unpausing the game now. Now that we've got the player controller, what we can do is get the player character. Just like this, get player character. I want to cast this to the BP underscore third person character in my case. You would cast this to your character. And then we're going to get that pause menu variable that we just created. So get the pause menu, get pause menu widget, and remove from parent, just like that. And then if you'd like, what you can do then is, to be on the safe side, you can come off this character and say set pause menu widget. And you just want to set that to nothing because it doesn't exist anymore. So that should be our resume functionality all created. Now just the quit button, and all we're going to do is quit game. Just like that. Specific player you don't actually need to specify, the default will be the local. But just like that we should be fine. So what we should find now is if we go into our game, and I'm running around here, if I click escape, actually you'll want to run this as a standalone game, because obviously if you run it in editor, escape closes the editor. So running around, if I click escape, game paused, everything freezes, can't do anything, I can't move, I'm pressing WASD. But if I click resume, there we go, we're back to where we were. Now the mouse cursor is still there, so obviously what we've forgotten to do is on resume game. On resume game you can see we've got show mouse cursor set to true, you want that to be false. You want to hide the mouse cursor again, not show it. So loading back in now, mouse cursor shouldn't be there anymore. Here we go, resume, and there we go. So there you have it, that is a fully functional pause menu system. You can test a quick game as well, it won't work in the editor, but if you run it as a standalone game like I just did, it'll work just fine. So that is our fully functional pause menu system. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe, and let me know what other videos you would like to see in the comments below. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all next time.